The Wildhearts, probably one of the most influential bands to come out of Newcastle upon Tyne, particularly within the UK rock scene, have been the inspiration for many other bands within the rock and alternative genres. They are celebrated for their unique blend of hard rock, pop and punk, which is often described as a combination of diverse styles like the Beatles, Don't Let Me Down, and 1980s Metallica. And still, to this day, have a loyal and devoted fanbase in the UK, as well as internationally. During their time together, the Wildhearts played all over the world at big festivals such as Sonisphere and Download,
on the fucking Wildhearts,
as well as performing on Top of the Pops multiple times with songs such as I Wanna Go Where the People Go, Caffeine Bomb, and Geordie in Wonderland, where they had Wolfsbane's Jeff Haitley perform on the mandolin in the famous Toon Army black and white colours. But where did the Wildhearts begin? The Wildhearts first formed in 1989 after Ginger was let go from the Choir Boys. Together, Ginger and CJ formed the band along with Snake and Duncan Mullet, but only for a short period of time until they were replaced with Bam Ross and Danny McCormack. In 1992 they released their first two EPs, Mondo Akimbo A Go-Go and Don't Be Happy Just Worry, after which Bam returned as a drummer to his original band Dogs D'Amour and then was replaced by Stiddy. The band then recorded the demos for the first full-length album Earth vs the Wildhearts, which was released without any re-recordings. However, Stiddy left the band shortly afterwards and was replaced by Rich Battersby, just in time for the recording of their new single, Caffeine Bomb, a UK chart hit in the early 1994, helped by a memorable video in which Ginger appears to vomit onto CJ's face. This song then got them onto the Top of the Pops.
Let's go, let's get it on. I need a bomb, I need a caffeine bomb. Ray Ray, King Kong. I need a bomb, I need a caffeine bomb. I need a bomb, I need.
The band would later go on to plan a double album, but East West Label Company vetoed this during the recording sessions, so the band stockpiled existing tracks and continued to write and record for the proposed single album. Midway through recording, however, Ginger fired CJ and some of the album tracks were recorded without a second guitarist. For the 1994 European tours, Devon Townsend of Canadian extreme metal band Strapping Young Lad joined the Wildhearts as second guitarist and harmony singer. By December 1994, the band had issued 6 more tracks from the incomplete double album on a fan club only release entitled Fishing for Luckies, which included Geordie in Wonderland, a song which Ginger had offered the former Newcastle United Football Club manager Kevin Keegan as a potential team anthem, but was turned down. This track was later performed on Top of the Pops. Since then, the Wildhearts continued releasing more singles and albums, with their most successful album being Fuck, released in May 1995 and reaching number 6 in the UK albums. Early 1996, they recorded more material for a revamped version of Fishing for Luckies, called Fishing for More Luckies, with 8 new tracks. However, in 1997, Ginger decided to split up the Wildhearts. But to know what life was really like with the band, we had to talk to them, so we interviewed Danny McCormack himself.
How did you discover the Wildhearts?
Pardon?
How did you discover the Wildhearts?
The first time I heard of the Wildhearts was I was in a kid South Shield, Mika or South Shield. A friend of mine, Panda, he mentioned that DJ was in a band. It's called the Wildhearts, and I got doing a demo. I got the first demos, and they were brilliant. They were really, really good. And I was working in a guitar shop in Stilton. Then I started cleaning the linen out of a big guitar. playing along with the Wildhearts, doing demos, you know. So there you go.
What was life like with the Wildhearts?
Before the Wildhearts,
Well, beforehand with them.
before was it was colourful, so it was just knock around the punks and scans the big the malls doing stuff in South Futs. Got no good with sniffing glue of gas and just be boys, you know. But we're not here, we're really a little gang, but we're not here nobody, you know, we're in a fighting gang, just a bunch of young kids just enjoying the sideline and doing the magic mushrooms you go. Yeah, man.
What was life like when you were with them?
Like pretty much the same. From backstage, how much of the extra money for mushrooms. That was I was so choked to get the job, but Panda and my friend Tinder's weird and in simply Tinder. You got to get Danny the band. You better get Danny the band. He budgeted for years, and his original bass player Julian left. He called me up and Danny, I can't stay too long on the phone. They'll trip me ball the lad. He says, but he said, I wanted to join the band. I says, I thought it was a joke. I said, yeah, town. Your mum's around the corner, I'll come for a drink later. The Mariner. And she was I said, don't seriously, like you wanted me to join the band. So I got a job and I was absolutely over in and I really owe them. And but it's all been documented what I thought, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Was there a show or two that stood out for you most?
A show or tour, AC/DC tour. We're doing 3 months of AC/DC around Europe and a bit of America and the UK. That was fantastic. There's 3 months of just purely on it all night, every day. And then the best day I've had is by far it's the day Plymouth Exhibition 154 in '96 in front of the 50 million people. And it was the customers day, fantastic. You know, we're doing well in the football. Everyone's in a good mood, and it was just the working sex pistol. You know, you can't get any better than that. You know what I mean? I'm very lucky to become friends with them. You know, I didn't have a lot of kids from South Hughes. You know, yeah, we're lucky blokes.
Who were some of the best bands that you worked with?
Alice in Chains, so good. The Sex Pistols, already. Oh, that's a good question. There's that many of them really go to that many tours and stuff. But AC/DC were brilliant to do. Like the same mentality as in they working in the night in a workman's club. So first night after the first gig, they were invited to the restaurant, go drink to meet them all. We met up and I was paying a few pints. They said, have we got anything arenas? And I said, God, I can hardly hear myself on your stages. About the side of the venues I would play. Me and she laughed with Brian Trundle stood that. She goes, "Song you can't hear so, pal." I said, right, now if you hear myself, I only got one cab. She didn't need bother, and he said, the cliff, and says, straight away, use my gear, Danny, not a problem. Use my cabs. You know what I mean? In the Lancashire mountains, yeah, use our speakers, and I said, use for heads, so we don't really touch my mark, where amplifiers, we use all the cameras and everything, so it was the same mentality, so we share gear. At the front is DC backline. And they went from getting a couple of lights, or one lamp and a candle, to full of laser show. You know what I mean? Overnight.
What was it like playing big shows like Download?
It was brilliant. It's the only way I can afford to get into festivals. Playing the fuckers. Because of what the charge is, this is jail robbery, man. You get ripped off, folks. It's just this discussion, to be honest. But anyway, that's another thing. But full of days, it's a great atmosphere, you know. It's all free beer backstage. It's all fucking everything's going on. You can imagine. What happens backstage stays backstage, so you know. Yeah, they're good days out. Everyone's there for this thing. When you're into rock music and punk music and all these subcultures, and you get to hear that, you're with your kind of people, and it becomes an event, and it's just so enjoyable, you know. I could do them every day. I wish I could, you know what I mean? Wish I could.
Well, were the crowds helpful for the band? Were the crowds helpful for the band?
Yeah, as long as they're not telling you to fuck off, you do them well, you know. Especially Donington, where it used to be like that. You just throw balls of piss at you, fucking tiki buggers. But I'm a good duck and tower, so I used to get out of the way of the fuckers. Days I got hit a couple of times, like somebody threw an egg at him at the festival. What they do with the fucking egg interval at the festival? The fucking egg. You caught it in all of you smash, even better.
I caught the fucking egg. I put it gently on the ground and the fucking thing smashed and it's all over
fucking, when he's going, an egg. What they're doing, you know? Would they have a pop about their own head? Yeah.
In 1998, Danny formed rock band the Yo-Yos alongside Tom Spencer of the Lurkers, Neil Phillips from B-Movie Heroes, and Andy Selway from the Toy Dolls. Together, they released their first single, Out of My Mind, and joined the Backyard Babies for a UK tour. Eventually, they were all signed on the US record label, Sub Pop, and released their first album, Upper and Downers, on CD and LP in 2000. But after fighting amongst each other, they split up, until 2005 where they reunited and recorded their new EP, Given Up, and toured on support with Danny's younger brother, Chris McCormack's band, Three Colours Red. However, the band walked out on Danny halfway through a tour, with anti-product due to Danny's drug problems. During his time making music, Danny suffered through drug and alcohol abuse along with his former Wildhearts members. When the Wildhearts reformed in 2001, Danny rejoined them for a tour later that year, but because of his battle against heroin addiction, he unfortunately had to leave the band and was filled in by anti-products bassist, Toshi. By 2002, Danny was clean until around 2003 when he checked himself into a rehabilitation centre due to an alcohol problem, and was again replaced in the band by this time by John Poole, who had previously worked with Ginger and is part of the current band lineup. After this, Ginger penned an open letter to Kerrang! Magazine documenting Danny's drug problems, wishing him a full recovery.
What was like the first cause that later led to your problems with drugs?
Well, what I've done, I used to be a young kid, and I used to be with a group of kids at school, and I seen one of them sniffing gas once, and I was like, "What does that do to you?" And they were still opening up around these posted skinheads that are. They were sniffing growing gas, and I'd end up getting tired of growing gas, or petrol, or tip-off sinners, or anything I would get my hands off, nail varnish from anything to get us back hit, to get high, and it's just I found that I enjoyed it because there was a lot of stuff. It was usually a way of escaping. Yeah, there was a lot of problems when I grew up with the parents, stepfathers, and I don't really want to point to. But you can imagine worst and the worst, and I just found out I could forget all the problems. You know what I mean? So I ended up starting up a local door, like the show interviews. Then I got into the slaughter door, and when I went to London, and tried speed and cope for the first time at 19, which is a pretty late age to start, really. Considering I started on the grass and blue since I was 11. You know, so I've been high all my life, you know, pretty much, and it's just fantastic.
How did it impact you at least?
It's had a great impact on my life. I keep getting brain fog with the other drug problems in the band. But it's, that is, well, you know, you can read about it that, can't you? But, it's, yeah, I don't know, it's been a hold back. It's going on tour. It's not very nice when you've got to go on tour and you've got to cold turkey. You only take so much drugs up your ass to last you fucking so long, and then you're only on tour a month. You kind of putting it up there. When you can't get it, it's the problem. That's the impact I had in right, and then you become an arsehole and all you do want to do is score. It's just very addictive, so, you know what I mean? Just be careful of it.
How did bands support you during making time with drugs?
The band supported me by kicking weekly. We were all in it together. You know what I mean? I always get the blame for being the one that sent the drugs in the band. But fucking hell, CJ and Jeff, not much CJ, even the dope smoker man saw me with a like coke, but he's packed all that in now. But the rest of the band, like another lineup, we were all into doing speedboats, heroin and crack. So I'm not the only one that's been doing, but I've got to blame for it. So, but that's the way it goes, you know. Tough shit for me, really. I don't care.
What was life like with the Yo-Yos, like away from the Wildhearts?
It was absolutely a breath of fresh air being around the Yo-Yos. It was an also free zone for a start. It wasn't everybody just talking about each other, back to swagger to the money bonus and all this stuff. It was all above board. I had a great manager, Terry Thomas. Hi, Terry. It was brilliant. We ended up going to America, and we toured 42 states of America. So we were saying there was an American label called Sub Pop. We released basically all our stuff in the place, Belgium stuff, all the good bands, what we need and all that. And we like I say, we've done 42 states of America, which was fantastic. Went over there with the backstone, party up in with the Murder City Devils, and it was fantastic. Got a place out by Southway in Texas. That was brilliant. To a festivals as well in America. Brilliant. Amazing time. Yeah, man.
What made you want to change, like stop doing drugs?
What mummy to stop doing drugs was it was when I was diagnosed as being bipolar, and I lost my leg to drugs. But I was being diagnosed as bipolar. I got the correct medication straight away, but every time I wasn't on medication, border medication, I was going mega high, big manic high or manic low. The highs are fate, but the lows are unbearable. You know what I mean? But once if I put on the right medication, I wasn't going mad and I could sew it up. Or I could handle it, and you know what I mean? So I'm eight years in now or something. You know what I mean? So I'm doing alright.
What's life like now that he's quit them?
I haven't quit drugs. I quit nothing. I quit the band, I've never quit drugs. I just don't do heroin anymore. But I have a line of coke and out of the junk, and I take any free gabs. I still dabble, but I haven't got a habit on anything. I don't use them all the time. If somebody goes to me, I'll have a pill or I'll have a line of coke or something. But I can't afford them anyway. You know, 100 gram. But I haven't quit everything. You know what? I just dabble. I don't live on them anymore. I don't run months, weeks, month there. For a long time without anything. It's not a problem anymore. I just do it's total fun. And better than sticking a needle in me, but I'm like all day, every day for 24 years. And now I feel great. I've got my solo career off the ground. What's happening right now? Just being in the recording studio, doing new songs. You get more stuff done. You know what I mean? So it's you become. I don't know. You got more time for things that you should be doing, like music. You know. So what I was doing, but at one point was just sitting in the house, just getting high, and it's no life.
Do you keep in contact with anyone from the Wildhearts or the Yo-Yos?
No. Tom, the Yo-Yos are reformed actually. Now we put them exclusively, and it's now been in the press. I reformed the Yo-Yos, well, not me. We reformed the Yo-Yos about a month ago. So the bass player, yeah, and we're back together. We're going out. We had a rehearsal. Even more managers got Rennie. He's on Rennie with pretty groovy. So what did they expect that would happen? Your first, we went down there. In the rehearsal session for a couple of days. We're doing one song over there. Well, manager could have bought any. They went fucking tits up. No, we couldn't really hear it down there, but he's yeah, the Yo-Yos back together. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you hope to go? Hey, where do you hope to see your life go? Like, do you solo work with the Yo-Yos or full?
I'm gonna do gold. I'm doing my solo stuff at the moment, but I want to be doing new stuff pretty soon as well. Some of the solo stuff, you know. That's taking priority, you know. Yeah, man.
Between 2003 up until around 2018, the band lineup consistently changed, with Ginger being the only original member still left until 2018, where the lineup of Ginger, Danny, CJ and Rich would reform for a 25th anniversary tour on Earth versus the Wildhearts. Prior to a Christmas tour in 2016, however, Ginger stated in an interview that the band would be recording a new album, with all the proceedings going towards assisting Danny's recuperation following the amputation of his lower right leg, after Danny suffered an aneurysm caused by heroin which nearly killed him. On the 11th of March 2022, the band announced hiatus, which would be the last time Danny ever played with the Wildhearts. In 2015, Danny formed his new band called the Main Graves, who released their EP, Don't Believe Everything You Think, but this was around the time of his aneurysm. In May 2023, Danny released his autobiography, I, Danny McCormack, Once a Wildheart, Always a Wildheart, which was written by journalist Guy Shankland. The book was self-published and printed to B&B Press, but release was delayed due to the threat of legal action from one of Danny's former bandmates. The book is now published and Danny is working on his own solo stuff back home. He has overcome his addictions and he is living a much better and happier life.